America, the land of the free, home of the brave, and apparently, a hotbed for STIs. Yes, you heard that right. Our beloved country is grappling with a silent epidemic that no one really wants to talk about. I know, not exactly the kind of news that makes you want to shout USA from the rooftops, but it's a reality we can't ignore any longer. But hey, someone's got to talk about the elephant in the room, or in this case, the chlamydia in the chat room. It's a conversation that's long overdue. We've got this whole sex sells thing going on, but no one wants to talk about the potential consequences. It's all fun and games until reality hits hard. It's all fun and games until someone gets gonorrhea, am I right? And trust me, it's more common than you think. And before you start pointing fingers at those other cities, you know, the ones known for their, let's say, vibrant nightlife, hold your horses. This issue is far more widespread. It's not just the usual suspects, it's happening everywhere in cities big and small across the entire nation. Turns out even the poshest zip codes aren't immune to these pesky infections. Wealth and status don't offer protection against STIs. We're talking about places where people sip champagne with their pinky out, drive cars worth more than my entire existence, and still manage to contract chlamydia. It's a stark reminder that STIs don't discriminate. It's like a real-life episode of The Real Housewives, but with more penicillin involved. The glitz and glamour can't hide the reality. So buckle up, folks, because we're about to dive deep into America's secret STI epidemic. And trust me, things are about to get real. It's time to face the facts and start a conversation that could make a difference. Now, before we get into the nitty-gritty of which cities are topping the STI charts, let's address the elephant in the room, or rather, the elephant in the doctor's office, poverty. Yeah, it's a tough pill to swallow, but poverty and STIs go together like politicians and broken promises. Think about it. Limited access to healthcare, lack of comprehensive sex education, and let's not forget the whole living paycheck to paycheck thing that doesn't exactly leave room for pricey STI tests and treatments. It's a vicious cycle, and unfortunately, one that disproportionately affects marginalized communities. But hey, it's not all doom and gloom. There are organizations out there fighting the good fight, providing free testing, affordable healthcare, and most importantly, education. Because knowledge is power, people. And when it comes to STIs, knowing your status and protecting yourself is the ultimate power move. All right, folks, time to face the music. Detroit, the Motor City, the birthplace of Motown, is also, unfortunately, a city grappling with some of the highest STI rates in the nation. And I ain't talking about a little fender bender. This is a full-blown public health crisis we're talking about. The numbers are grim, folks. According to the latest CDC data, Detroit's chlamydia rates are through the roof, gonorrhea is making a comeback tour, and syphilis is like that ex you just can't seem to shake. It's enough to make you want to reach for a bottle of hand sanitizer and never let go. But before we start writing off Detroit as a lost cause, let's remember one thing. Behind those statistics are real people with real stories facing real challenges. And it's our job as a nation to address these challenges head-on, not sweep them under the rug like a dirty little secret. Next up on our STI tour de force, we're heading to the nation's capital, Washington, D.C. Now, you might think that a city full of politicians and policymakers would be on top of its game when it comes to public health, right? Well, think again, folks, because D.C. quote, STI rates are about as pretty as a filibuster on C-SPAN. That's right, folks, even the halls of power aren't immune to the clap. Turns out all those late-night votes and backroom deals can lead to more than just political scandals. And before you start blaming it all on interns, let's be real, this is a citywide issue. From Georgetown to Anacostia, STIs are running rampant, and it's time we stop treating it like a taboo topic. We need more testing, more education, and more resources to combat this growing epidemic. Because let's face it, folks, what happens in DC doesn't stay in DC. It spreads faster than a political rumor. Section 5, swipe right, get tested, the wild world of dating apps and STIs. Okay, folks, let's talk about sex, baby. Or more specifically, let's talk about how the way we're having sex these days is contributing to this whole STI surge. Gone are the days of courtship, handwritten letters, and waiting until the third date to hold hands. This is the age of Tinder, Bumble, and Grindr, where a hookup is just a swipe away. And hey, I'm all for sexual liberation and finding love or lust in the digital age. But let's be real, folks. This whole swipe right culture comes with a price. With more partners comes more risk, and with more risk comes, you guessed it, more STIs. It's not just about the thrill of the chase anymore, it's about being smart and safe. Now, I'm not saying you should delete all your dating apps and become a hermit, but a little caution goes a long way. Use protection, get tested regularly, and for the love of all that is holy, have those awkward conversations about sexual history before you jump into bed with someone. It's not just about protecting yourself, it's about protecting your partners too. Open communication can prevent a lot of heartache and health issues down the line. And let's not forget, getting tested isn't just a one-time thing. Make it a regular part of your routine, just like brushing your teeth or hitting the gym. Trust me, your future self will thank you. So go ahead, swipe right, but do it responsibly. Your health and happiness are worth it. After all, the goal is to enjoy the wild world of dating apps without the unwanted baggage of STIs. Stay safe, stay smart, and keep swiping. Section 6. Condoms? What condoms? The dwindling use of protection. Remember condoms? Those little latex shields that used to be as ubiquitous as bad pickup lines? Yeah, well, it seems like they're going the way of the dinosaurs, folks, and our STI rates are feeling the burn. Seriously, according to recent studies, condom use is on the decline, especially among young people. Now, I get it. Condoms aren't exactly the sexiest things in the world. They can be a mood killer. They're not always comfortable, and let's be real, sometimes they break. But you know what's worse than a broken condom? Chlamydia, gonorrhea, syphilis, you get the picture. These infections are not just inconvenient, they can have serious long-term health consequences. And let's not forget, condoms are also effective at preventing unwanted pregnancies. So, while they might not be perfect, they are still one of the best defenses we have. It's time to change the narrative around condoms. They shouldn't be seen as a nuisance, but as a necessary part of responsible sexual behavior. We need to educate ourselves and others about the importance of using protection. It's not just about avoiding infections, it's about taking control of our sexual health. So let's bring back the condom, folks. And while we're at it, let's normalize talking about safe sex. We need to be having these conversations in our schools, in our homes, and yes, even on our dating app profiles. Open dialogue can lead to better understanding and more responsible choices. Because at the end of the day, protecting yourself from STIs isn't just about being safe, it's about being responsible, it's about caring for yourself and your partners. So let's make the smart choice, let's make the responsible choice, let's bring back the condom. Section 7. Ignorance is bliss, but not when it comes to STIs. The importance of sex education. Okay folks, time for a little real talk. One of the biggest reasons we're in this whole STI mess is because, let's face it, our sex education is about as comprehensive as a tweet. We're talking abstinence-only education, outdated textbooks, and teachers who would rather swallow their whistles than say the word vagina. No wonder so many young people are clueless about STIs, how to prevent them, and even what the symptoms are. We're sending them out into the world armed with nothing but misinformation and a whole lot of awkwardness. And then we wonder why STI rates are skyrocketing. It's time to get real about sex education, folks. We need to be teaching our kids about consent, healthy relationships, and yes, even pleasure. We need to be having open and honest conversations about sex because the more we talk about it, the less scary and taboo it becomes. Section 8. Your body, your responsibility, the power of regular testing. Alright folks, here's the deal. Getting tested for STIs shouldn't be as scandalous as a presidential tweet storm. It should be as normal as brushing your teeth, getting your oil changed, or binge-watching Netflix. It's just part of being a responsible adult who cares about their health and the health of their partners. And the best part? Getting tested is easier than ever these days. You can walk into most clinics. No judgment, no awkward questions asked. You can even order at-home testing kits online because who wants to deal with traffic and waiting rooms anyway? So do yourself a favor and get tested. Seriously, it's a quick, painless process that could save you a whole lot of trouble in the long run. And hey, if you're negative, congratulations. You get to celebrate with a clear conscience and a clean bill of health. Section 9. Let's talk about safe sex, baby. Prevention is key. We've reached the end of our STI journey, folks, and I hope you've learned a thing or two. But before I let you go, I want to leave you with this. Preventing STIs isn't rocket science. It's about making smart choices and taking control of your sexual health. Use protection every single time. Get tested regularly like it's your favorite hobby. Communicate with your partners because honesty is still the best policy. And most importantly, educate yourself because knowledge is power, especially when it comes to your health. So, let's all do our part to stop the spread of STIs, America. We can do this. Now go forth and be safe.